Okay, so let's start working now on the button animation. So I'm going to start by saving the project so I don't lose the changes. And then let me change the image folder to the correct one. Like in prior projects, I am going to drag over the background because I want to use it as a guide. And by selecting the image here on the root node, I'm going to make it a background because I don't want it to be part of the exported project. Then let me drag the button. Well, let's draw the bone first, just like in the other projects. So by selecting here my create bone tool, and then making sure that I am selecting the parent bone, which is the root bone, which is over here, I'm going to select in the middle of the screen, which is where I want my button to appear. So right there it created the bone. You'll notice that unlike the other bones, this is only a dot on the screen. It's similar to the center bone that we created in the other two characters. So let me change the name to button bone. The next step is to drag the image on top of the bone. It's gonna be here, just right there. And there you have it. So we have the bone and an image attached to the bone. Let's save the project. And now we can move on to the animation phase or animation mode. So for my button animation, I want it to appear coming from the top left portion of the screen and then position itself in the middle of the screen. So let's work the animation. I'm going to select first the looping options, making sure that I have auto key selected, and double click outside of the canvas area so I can unselect everything. And now by clicking and dragging, I'm going to select my single bone that I have here on the screen with the exception of the root bone. And let's key the initial position of our bone. And now we can start making changes. So as I mentioned, I want the bone to come from outside the screen. So let me move it outside of the screen. Okay, so from there, I also want to change the scale. So let me change that here. I want it to be at, I don't know, 0.1 maybe, very small. So that's my button, very small, and it's going to be outside of the area of the screen of an iPad. So let me copy the initial position in frame 0 and paste it here over into the frame number 20. Now let's work on what I want to do with this animation. So by frame 20, I want this bone to be located in the middle of the screen, right there, and I want it back to a scale of 1. Like that. So let's play the animation. So when I play this animation, it's going to make the button come up from the top. So I think it's looking good. So let's stop here. Let me collapse everything here. Okay, so let's change the name of the animation. Currently this animation comes with the default name, so let me change it. So this is going to be start button. So this is the initial animation, and let me create another one which is going to be a looping animation. So once the button is in the middle of the screen, I want it to be changing its size constantly, and maybe bouncing up and down a little bit. So let's do that. So let's create a new animation for the button. Let's call this animation 2. Okay. Let's go back to my initial animation just because I want to make sure I have it in the correct position. Let's stop the looping option. Okay. So it ends up here. Alright. So let's change to the other animation. Okay, right there. Okay, so let's work on the second animation for the button. So I am clicking outside of the canvas so I can unselect everything, and then click and drag and select my single bone, and then I'm going to key the initial position in frame 0. So now let's work on the animation for this button. So the first thing I want to do for this button is to copy the frame 0 position over to frame 20, and then again here on frame 10 because I want to make changes. So the button is going to start with a normal size, but I want it to be, by frame 10 I want it to be a little bit smaller. So let's change the scale, maybe by changing the size by 50%. Okay, so let's see how it looks. So if I loop this animation, the play button is going to be changing its size indefinitely. I think it's a very drastic move. I don't want it to move so much. So let me change the setting here. Maybe if I only do it at 80% of its original size. Okay, so let's see how it looks. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay. So I think that's enough for the animation. So what we're going to do in code, we're going to play the first animation once. Let me play this for you. So the button is going to come from outside the screen, position itself in the middle, and this animation is going to be played only once, and once it finishes it's going to play indefinitely the second animation, which is a button static in the position where it is, but it's going to be changing its size indefinitely. So with that, I think we are finished with our 3 animations: the animation for the orange guy, the green star, and the button. And the next step is to work with the Corona code. So I'll see you in the next video.